Hi guys, so today's video is going to be an updated Witcher reading order now that Season of Storms is out. I am going to get right into it, the very first reading order, because I do think there's a couple of ways that you can play around with the reading order, but the first one and the easiest one is to just stick with publication order. If you're not sure what publication order is, I'll show you really quick. It is not starting with the book that's labeled 1 on the spine for those of you that have these editions. Do not start with Blood of Elves. That is not publication order. Despite maybe the confusion of this particular book's name, you actually want to start with The Last Wish. People do often wonder if you even have to bother reading the collections of short stories, because short stories aren't really for everybody, but I would highly recommend that you do. I don't think Blood of Elves is really going to be as good as it possibly could if you don't go into it reading the collections of short stories first. That said, after reading The Last Wish, you do want to go to Sword of Destiny. This is also a collection of short stories. From their publication order is quite straightforward in that, especially if you have these particular editions, they number them 1 through 5. There's nothing crazy going on with that. You can just stick to the 1 through 5 reading order. If you have different editions that aren't numbered, then I'll go ahead and read off the titles to you. You're going to want to go to Blood of Elves first, and then after Blood of Elves, you want to go to Time of Contempt. Then from there, you want to go to Baptism of Fire, my personal favorite. Then Tower of the Swallow and Lady of the Lake. Then after reading all of those, if you want to stick with publication order, you would read the Season of Storms. Now, the reason you might want to kind of go off of publication order is because technically Season of Storms is a prequel. If you are brand new to the Witcher series, though, I wouldn't necessarily recommend going away from publication order, but if you have read the rest of the series and you're kind of wondering, maybe you want to do a reread and you want to play around with the reading order, you can put Season of Storms in a slightly different place. The reason I don't recommend this particular reading order for those of you who are brand new to the Witcher series is because of the nature of this particular book, The Last Wish. It's the only one told in this particular way, but this one's actually told with a fractured timeline. So you go back and forth between present day and then events in Geralt's past. And the events in Geralt's past are not chronological. They're very scattered to fit whatever particular theme is coming up in present day. So The Last Wish is a nice place to start. You're getting introduced to some other characters, and those particular characters do show up in Season of Storms. It's much easier to know who they are and what their relationship is to Geralt if you read The Last Wish first. If you want, there is actually a way to read The Last Wish chronologically, and I'll have that in the description bar down below. I'll link the order of short stories if you want to read those chronologically, and if you want to do that, then you can read the chronological order up to a certain point, then you can read Season of Storms, and then you can finish out The Last Wish in its chronological order. But this is getting super extra fancy, and if you're brand new to the Witcher series, honestly, you can just stick with publication order, it's fine. One last thing that's not necessarily anything to do with the reading order, but it's something that I think a lot of people who are brand new to the series or who are wanting to reread the series might be interested in, and that would be the way that you can listen to a lot of the Witcher books for just $8. This isn't sponsored or anything, I just know that there's a lot of books in the series and it can be really expensive, but there's this subscription for an audiobook service called Scribd. It only costs $8 a month, and it's a streaming service. You don't only get access to one book a month like Audible, you get access to a lot of books, and they have The Last Wish, Blood of Elves, Sword of Destiny, Time of Contempt, and Baptism of Fire all on that app. So if you want to just get through a bunch of them and see if you like it, I highly recommend checking it out. I have listened to some of the audiobook and the narrator is phenomenal. Anyway, that's it for the updated Witcher reading order. I hope that was helpful for any of you who are totally uncertain about where to start, and I hope it was helpful for those of you who are wondering where to fit Season of Storms in. For those of you who are also Witcher fans, I do have an entire playlist dedicated to Witcher, so I'll have that linked. But anyway, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Happy reading, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.